On December 31st, $3,000 of your money disappears. Forever. And it happens every single year. Your employer's 401k match resets to zero. If you haven't maxed it out this year, you're leaving free money on the table. Money that disappears forever on January 1st. Here's the math that nobody wants you to understand. The average employer match is 4.7% of your salary. For someone making $65,000 a year, that's $3,055 in free money every single year. But here's the brutal part. If you miss that match starting in your 20s and lose it for 40 years, compounded at 7%, you'll lose $599,000 by retirement. That's not a typo. Nearly $600,000 gone because you didn't understand how this system works. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to stop leaving money on the table, who profits when you don't understand this, and what you need to do in the next by December 31st. Let me break down what's really happening with your 401k match, because the numbers are more disturbing than you probably realize. The December 31st deadline. Nobody tells you about. Here's what most people don't understand. Your employer's 401k matching contribution resets every January 1st. Whatever match you didn't claim this year, it's gone forever. There's no rollover. There's no second chance. On January 1st, 2026, you start from zero again. And according to Fidelity data, which tracks over 25,000 401k plans, the most common matching formula is dollar for dollar on the first 3% of your salary, then 50 cents on the dollar for the next 2%. So if you contribute 5% of your salary, your employer effectively gives you another 4%. That's nearly doubling your money on that contribution. But here's the thing that should terrify you. You have by December 31st left. If you haven't been contributing enough to get the full match this year, that money is about to vanish. The $3,000 you're leaving behind. Let's do the actual math for a real person making a real salary. According to recent data, the average employer match in 2025 is between 4 and 6% of your salary. Vanguard's 2024 survey found the median match is 4%, with the average slightly higher at 4.6%. So let's use a real number. You're making $65,000 a year. That's close to the median household income in America. Your employer offers a 4.7% match, which is the average according to Fidelity's 2024 data. 4.7% of $65,000 is $3,055. That's $3,055 your employer will give you this year. For free. No strings attached, except you have to contribute to your own retirement. But you have to contribute enough to get it, and you have to do it before December 31st. Breaking down who's missing out. Now here's where this gets really disturbing. Studies show that not all workers contribute enough to get the entire match. According to Fidelity's analysis, the actual average employer contribution across all employees is 4.8%, slightly higher than the typical plan offers. But that's an average, which means some people are getting way more than the match, and a lot of people are getting way less. Think about that. If the plans offer an average of 4.6%, but employees are only capturing 4.8% on average, that means millions of people are leaving match money unclaimed. And here's who's most likely to be leaving money on the table. According to multiple studies, younger workers contribute less overall to their 401ks and are potentially missing out on more matching dollars than older employees. The lifetime cost of missing the match. Now let me show you the math that should make you physically uncomfortable. You're 25 years old. You're making $65,000. You're not contributing enough to get your full $3,055 employer match this year. That's not just $3,055 you're losing. That's $3,055 that could have been growing for the next 40 years until you retire at 65. At a 7% annual return, which is conservative for a stock-heavy portfolio over decades, here's what happens. If you invest $3,055 once at age 25 and let it grow for 40 years at 7%, it becomes $45,770. That's from one single year of employer match. But you're not just missing it one year. You're missing it every year for 40 years. If you miss that $3,055 match every single year for 40 years, and each year's contribution compounds at 7%, the total you lose is $599,000. Let me say that again. Missing your employer match from age 25 to 65 costs you nearly $600,000. The age breakdown. But maybe you're thinking, I'm not 25, I'm older. It doesn't matter as much for me. Wrong. If you're 35 right now and you start missing the match for the next 30 years until retirement at 65, you lose $303,000. If you're 45 and you miss it for 20 years, you still lose $131,000. Even if you're 55 with just 10 years until retirement, missing that $3,055 match every year costs you $43,000. This isn't small money. This is the difference between a comfortable retirement and working until you die. The vesting schedule trap. And here's another thing most people don't understand. Many employers use vesting schedules. Vesting means you don't actually own your employer's contributions right away. You have to stay at the company for a certain period of time. According to industry data, common vesting schedules include immediate vesting, where you own the match right away, cliff vesting, where you have to stay for 3 years to own any of it, or graded vesting, where you gradually own more each year. So not only do you have to contribute enough to get the match, you also have to stay at your job long enough to actually keep it. If you leave before you're fully vested, you forfeit whatever percentage you haven't earned yet. That money goes back to the company. The part-time worker penalty. And if you think this doesn't affect part-time workers, think again. Only about 45% of part-time workers are even offered a 401k or similar savings plan, less than half. So if you're working part-time, you're not just earning less money, you're also missing out on the employer match that could double your retirement savings. How your paycheck timing can screw you. Here's one more way people lose money that almost nobody talks about. Some 401k plans use per pay period matching, which means your employer only matches what you contribute each paycheck. If you front-load your contributions early in the year and hit the $23,500 limit by June, you might not get any match for the rest of the year. Other plans do an annual true-up at year-end, calculating the full match regardless of when you contributed. But not all plans offer this. Check your plan documents or ask HR. Don't guess, because guessing wrong could cost you thousands of dollars. Villain reveal. So who's winning while you're losing? Let me show you exactly who's profiting from your confusion. The employer, who doesn't want you to know. Here's the first villain, your employer. Now, they'll tell you they offer a competitive benefits package with a generous 401k match. But here's what they're not telling you. Nearly half of employers provide no match at all. Zero. Nothing. And even among employers who do offer a match, according to the Plan Sponsor Council of America, 98% of companies with a 401k offer some matching, but that doesn't mean employees are actually getting it. Because here's the trick. Employers budget for the match based on average employee participation. They know most people won't contribute enough to get the full match. So they can advertise a 6% match, knowing that on average, they'll only pay out 4% because employees don't understand the system. That's free money they get to keep, money that was supposed to be part of your compensation package. The HR department that makes it confusing. Now let's talk about human resources. Your HR department is supposed to help you understand your benefits. But have you ever tried to read your 401k plan document? It's deliberately incomprehensible. Pages and pages of legal jargon about matching formulas, vesting schedules, contribution limits, and eligibility requirements. Most companies require 30 to 90 days before you're eligible for their 401k plan. That's potentially months of lost matching dollars when you start a new job. And HR doesn't proactively tell you when you're not contributing enough. They don't send you an email in December saying, hey, you're leaving $2,000 on the table this year. They just let it happen. Because every dollar you don't claim is a dollar the company doesn't have to pay. So they can advertise a 6% match knowing that on average, they'll only pay out 4% because employees don't understand the system. That's free money they get to keep, money that was supposed to be part of your compensation package. The HR department that makes it confusing. Now let's talk about human resources. Your HR department is supposed to help you understand your benefits. But have you ever tried to read your 401k plan document? It's deliberately incomprehensible. Pages and pages of legal jargon about matching formulas, vesting schedules, contribution limits, and eligibility requirements. Most companies require 30 to 90 days before you're eligible for their 401k plan. That's potentially months of lost matching dollars when you start a new job. And HR doesn't proactively tell you when you're not contributing enough. They don't send you an email in December saying, hey, you're leaving $2,000 on the table this year. They just let it happen. Because every dollar you don't claim is a dollar the company doesn't have to pay. The financial industry's complicated jargon. Here's another villain, the financial services industry that makes all of this deliberately confusing. Partial match, dollar-for-dollar match, true-up provisions, eligible compensation, highly compensated employees, safe harbor contributions. All of these terms are designed to make you feel stupid so you don't ask questions. And when you don't ask questions, you don't maximize your match, which means more money stays with the company instead of going into your pocket. The system that punishes job hopping. Here's another way the system is rigged against you: vesting schedules. If you're a millennial or Gen Z worker, you know that staying at one company for 20 years doesn't happen anymore. The workforce turnover rate is much higher than it used to be, but vesting schedules were designed for the old economy where people stayed at companies for decades. So, if you leave a job after 2 years and your company has a 3-year cliff vesting schedule, you lose 100% of your employer contributions. All of it. The company gets to keep that money they promised you as part of your compensation. That's wage theft dressed up as a benefits policy, the culture that says retirement is your problem. And here's the biggest villain of all, the cultural narrative that retirement is entirely your personal responsibility. 40 years ago, companies offered defined benefit pension plans. You worked there for your career and they paid you a pension in retirement based on your salary and years of service. You didn't have to worry about investment choices or contribution limits or matching formulas. The company took care of it. Then companies realized they could shift all the risk onto employees by switching to 401k plans. Now it's your job to figure out how much to contribute, which funds to invest in, whether you're getting your match, and whether you'll have enough to retire. And if you mess it up, that's on you. According to recent surveys, only 64% of participants in 401k plans feel confident in their ability to retire comfortably. That's because the system was designed to benefit companies, not you. Solution. All right, I know this is infuriating, but here's what you need to do right now to stop leaving money on the table. Solution 1. Find out your exact match formula. First, you need to know exactly what your employer offers. Log into your 401k account right now, or call HR, or dig up your plan documents. Find out, what percentage does your employer match? Is it dollar for dollar or partial matching? What's the maximum they'll contribute? Do they do per pay period matching or annual true up? What's your vesting schedule? Don't guess. Know the exact numbers. The most common formula according to Fidelity is dollar for dollar on the first 3%, then 50 cents on the dollar for the next 2%. But your plan might be different. You need to know your formula. Solution 2. Calculate how much you need to contribute. Once you know your match formula, do the math. Let's say you make $65,000 and your employer matches dollar for dollar up to 4%. 4% of $65,000 is $2,600. That means you need to contribute at least $2,600 this year to get the full $2,600 match. If you've contributed less than that so far this year, you need to make up the difference before December 31st. Solution 3. Max out your match in the next December 31st. Deadline. Here's your action plan for the rest of December. Log into your 401k and check your year-to-date contributions. Let's say you've contributed $1,500 so far. If you need $2,600 to get the full match, that means you're short $1,100. You have by December 31st to contribute that $1,100. Can you afford to do a one-time contribution right now? Some plans allow additional contributions. Or can you temporarily increase your paycheck deduction for your remaining December paychecks? Check if your plan has automatic enrollment features. At the end of 2021, 56% of Vanguard plans had automatic enrollment, but that means 44% don't. Do whatever it takes to hit that number before December 31st, because on January 1st, the opportunity is gone forever. Solution 4. Set up automatic contributions for 2026. Once you've maxed out 2025, set yourself up for success in 2026. The 2025 contribution limit is $23,500 if you're under 50 or $31,000 if you're 50 or older. But you don't need to max out the IRS limit. You just need to contribute enough to get your full employer match. Set up automatic paycheck deductions so you're contributing at least enough to capture the match every single pay period. Make it automatic so you don't have to think about it. Solution 5. Understand your vesting schedule. If you're thinking about changing jobs, check your vesting schedule first. If you're close to a vesting milestone, it might be worth timing your departure to maximize what you keep. For example, If you're 2 years into a 3-year cliff vesting schedule and you're sitting on $8,000 in employer contributions, leaving now means you lose all $8,000. Waiting 3 more months could mean you keep all of it. I'm not saying stay in a job you hate, but know what you're giving up when you leave. Solution 6. If you're changing jobs, roll it over. If you do change jobs, don't just leave your 401k sitting there. Roll it over to your new employer's plan or to an IRA. According to industry data, when people change jobs and leave old 401ks behind, they often lose track of them or cash them out early and pay penalties. Consolidate your retirement accounts. Keep track of every dollar. Solution 7. If your employer doesn't offer a match, contribute anyway. Now, what if your employer doesn't offer any match at all? Nearly half of employers with less than 100 employees don't offer a 401k. If that's you, you still need to save for retirement. Contribute to a Roth IRA instead. The 2025 limit is $7,000 if you're under 50, $8,000 if you're 50 or older. You lose out on the employer match, but you still get tax-advantaged growth. And Roth IRAs offer more investment flexibility than most 401k plans. Don't let the lack of a match be an excuse not to save. The brutal truth. Here's what nobody in power wants you to fully understand. The shift from pension plans to 401k plans was a massive transfer of risk from companies to workers. In 1980, most private sector workers had pensions. Today, most have 401ks. Companies saved billions by eliminating guaranteed retirement benefits. They shifted all the responsibility onto you. And now, according to recent data, 20% of adults ages 50 and older have zero retirement savings. Nothing. More than 1 in 3 Americans expect to have $100,000 or less in their 401k plans by retirement age. And in reality, 58% of Americans ages 65 and older actually have $100,000 or less. That's not enough, not even close. Financial experts recommend having at least 10 times your pre-retirement income saved by the time you retire. If you made $65,000 before retiring, you should have $650,000 saved, minimum. But most people don't even have $100,000. And one of the biggest reasons, they didn't understand their employer match. They left free money on the table, year after year after year. Fidelity's data shows that in 2024, the average employer contribution was $4,770. But that's just an average. Some people got zero. Some got way more. The difference between getting your full match and missing it entirely is the difference between a secure retirement and poverty. The compound interest reality. And here's the final thing you need to understand. Compound interest is the most powerful force in retirement savings. Money you invest in your 20s has 40 years to grow. Money you invest in your 50s has 10 years. That's why missing the match early in your career is so devastating. $3,000 invested at age 25 becomes $45,000 by age 65. $3,000 invested at age 55 only becomes $5,900 by age 65. Same amount, different result. Because of time. Every year you wait, you lose not just that year's match, but also all the compound growth it would have generated for decades. That's why I keep saying this is a $500,000 mistake, because it is. Here's what you do. Most people will watch this video, feel anxious for 5 minutes, and then do nothing. Don't be most people. Here's your action plan. Today, 1. Log into your 401k account right now. Check your year-to-date contributions. Check your employer's match formula. Calculate if you're on track to get the full match by December 31st. 2. If you're short, figure out how much you need to contribute in the next by December 31st. Then actually do it. Transfer money. Increase your paycheck deduction. Whatever it takes. 3. Set up automatic contributions for 2026 that will capture your full match all year long. Make it automatic so you don't have to think about it. 4. If you don't have a 401k or your employer doesn't match, open a Roth IRA today. Fund it with at least something. Even $100 a month is better than zero. That's it. 4 actions. Stop leaving free money on the table. Stop letting your employer keep compensation that's supposed to be yours. The average employer match is $3,055 per year. Over 40 years, that's $599,000. That's not a nice to have. That's the difference between retiring and working until you die. If this video opened your eyes, subscribe to this channel. We're exposing the mathematical reality they don't want you to see. Our next video is going to be about something even more urgent. You won't want to miss it, because data makes sense, and it's time you kept more of yours.